The new fascists, what many people call the Russian occupiers now, apparently are not capable of fighting against the Ukrainian army, therefore they are fighting against unarmed citizens. The city that no longer exists. This is how Mariupol is called by those who could leave it now. 42 people remained in our bunker. There were 12-year-old, 15, 16, 18-year-old children. I saw the sun for the first time. 42 people remained in our bunker. There were 12-year-old, 15, 16, 18-year-old children. I saw the sun for the first time in 2 months. When I went out, there was a bomb or shell crater 15 meters in diameter, and I don't know how many meters deep it was. Not a single intact building remained in Mariupol. The entire urban infrastructure has been destroyed. There is no water, gas and electricity. Food is running out. Doctors who managed to leave the city say that many people die not from shelling, but from a lack of medicines and a failure to provide medical care. Even under the German occupiers, hospitals and polyclinics worked in the city. Russians, on the other hand, bombed pharmacies and maternity hospitals to the ground. According to the mayor of Mariupol, Vadim Boychenko, Russian troops killed more than 20,000 Mariupol residents during the 2 months of the war. The bodies are taken out by trucks and the mass graves are measured in hectares. During the Second World War, in 2 years of occupation, the townspeople casualties were 2 times less.
The Nazis planned to use this territory in the future. They planned to use the industrial base of the Soviet Union in Mariupol and the natural resources and partly the population, which, after hard work of the propaganda machine, could have become partly loyal to the occupiers.
Unlike the Russian occupiers, the Nazis did not say that they had come to save the people, and at the same time 41 schools, 3 cinemas where German and Soviet films were shown, and a Ukrainian theater worked in the occupied city. The Germans did not plan to destroy the city. On the contrary, their goal was to use the industrial capacity of Mariupol as much as possible. In 2022, the city's largest enterprise, Azovstal, is being bombed daily by Russians. When they took us out, the Russians called us pencils. I asked myself, why? Well, pencils, we are not people, we are pencils. We were 11 pencils. In 1941, the Germans took several thousand Mariupol residents to slave work to Germany. It is impossible to calculate how many people have been taken out of the city to Russia now. Russians now deployed filtration camps for Ukrainians in Mariupol. There, the occupiers hold people for weeks in inhumane living conditions. Those who leave must go through a humiliating filtrating procedure, the main goal of which is to intimidate people, during which people are warned that those who support Ukraine will never come back.
At each checkpoint, our emergency worker was taken out and undressed. Ask when Bishop Luka went and we took the children to Berdyansk. They were all undressed in the same way, 11 priests. They were all stripped to their underpants and were searched for Ukrainian tattoos.
We were photographed as if we were some criminals. They photographed us in profile and full face. They took our fingerprints, they took our phones, scanned our phones. I don't know what they were looking for. They collected documents. Military historian Vasil Pavlov does not recommend comparing fascists and Russians. He reminds that the policy of Russia for centuries was aimed at the destruction of everything Ukrainian.
The German occupation authorities did not deport anyone. They had only the program of the so-called Ostarbeiters. That was the population recruited to work in Germany, but such a deportation as it carried out by Russia in order to change the ethnic composition of the population of the region has not been carried out.
After World War II and 2 years of occupation, Mariupol became the largest industrial center in Ukraine. How much time, money and effort will it take to revive the city from the ashes after the Russians burned it to the ground? No one is making any predictions today. Reported by Marina Stepanenko, Valeria Nikipelova, UATV News.